want to bring in our panel. Britt Hume, Dana Perino, Juan Williams, and Monica Crowley. Britt, your thoughts?
Well, I think that there are two things that happen in a debate. One of them is the performance you put in the debate itself. And then the second is how you come out in the coverage thereafter. Now, part of that's the analysis and what people say about it, but part of it is what makes the headline. The headline out of this debate, as far as I can tell, is his refusal to say he would accept the results of the election. That doesn't happen usually in America. It's newsworthy. It's controversial. It's a big deal. And so the question is that something that's going to help him? I doubt it. I think I agree with the two of you. This was his best performance to date. He scored point after point after point on her. She wasn't rattled by it. She did fine in her own right, but there was nothing spectacular about her performance tonight. There didn't need to be. He's the guy that really needed to pull something off here tonight. And even if he did, and he may well have in the eyes of many people, I think he stepped on it by refusing to say he'd accept the results of the
Monica, your thoughts?
Yeah, you know, it's interesting because debates are less about policy nuance than they are about style, tone, the occasional zinger, and demonstrating an ability to think on your feet. I think tonight both of these candidates went into this debate with certain missions. Donald Trump's was to project a sense of calm, level-headedness, rationality, and I think he projected that through his tone tonight. He needed to show voters that he is a safe choice if you are uncomfortable with Mrs. Clinton. He also needed to reassure on responsible leadership. And to that extent, I think he accomplished his mission. Mrs. Clinton, because she cannot reassure on the honest and trustworthy aspect of her candidacy and personality, she had to reassure on core competence, and I think she probably delivered on that as well.
Juan, your thoughts?
Well, I can't get over not accepting the results of an election. I remember what happened between Gore and Bush, and it was very difficult for the whole country, specifically for Democrats who thought that Al Gore got more votes than George W. Bush, but accepted the result for the better of our country.
Some did.
At the end. Didn't accept it on election night.
Well, no, it was fought over, but
right.
It was accepted.
At
and President Bush's authority as President of the United States never called into question.
Well, that's not true, that it was never called into question.
I don't think it was ever called into question.
For years.
I don't know anybody
you worked
like
for President George
He
W.
might have been criticized, but I have never, in terms of the way George W. Bush was treated, he was our president, he was my president. And I'm telling you, when you say that you will consider it, you'll think about it, to me, that's a showstopper. I don't know how you get past that. That's not in our American tradition. That's not the way we play politics.
We should point out that Donald Trump is leaving, and we're getting word that he's not going to go to the spin room as he has done previously. Right. He is leaving the hall. I'm sorry.
And just for the record, Al Gore, after the legal challenge was resolved, did not challenge the legitimacy of the president.
That's what I'm saying to you.
Right. Well, I thought you were saying Democrats, which is not true.
Well, no, it's Al Gore. Al Gore was the Democrat. He was the opponent. But to move on, I think that when we look at this, to come to the point that you and Brett were saying about his performance, I thought it's specific when it came to the foundation issue. There were some issues where he pointed out that Hillary Clinton had to pivot quickly away from what he was saying because she was on unsteady ground. But when it came back to the issue of rigging and, you know, oh, this election is rigged, and he was pushed by Chris Wallace, then pushed by Mrs. Clinton, ultimately he found himself in a corner where she said, oh, that's a pattern of Donald's behavior. He has a dark vision in which everything is rigged, and ultimately even not winning the Emmy, and he joked, should have won it. I just think, again, it reveals to the viewer here that Donald Trump has a certain vision, and I'm not sure that what came across was that of someone who is presidential, which was a high bar but a necessary bar for him to meet tonight.
Dana.
I agree he had a first strong 30 minutes. I just don't think that's enough. I thought that on the economy, that on the place where he could have actually played the most offense, he went on tangents about NAFTA and NATO that had nothing to do with the actual question in hand and his particular strengths. I did think it was good when he talked about being on the campaign trail for the past year and that it's moved him, that he has seen some of that. Like, that's some of that grace and humility that Laura Ingraham was talking about before the debate started. But I also felt that Hillary Clinton knew exactly who she was talking to, especially on the issues of the Supreme Court, guns, abortion, immigration, and nuclear weapons. And at the very end of the debate, fine debate for him. Not stellar. He's not going to win any awards for it. But at the end, when he whispers, what a nasty woman, I thought, like, there's another headline for you that you didn't need.
As she said earlier in the debate, he attacks women, he disparages them personally.
Right, but
this was a point she started the debate with.
And again tonight, he did a better job of scoring points on her than he did making the case for himself in the programs. What I think would have helped him immensely tonight is if when he laid out a vision of his own program, he could have spoken of it in some depth and with some force.